Dude's body is gonna be all jacked up with everything he takes. Can't even without taking Cialis. What's up guys, Derek, moreplates.com. Today we're gonna be talking about roid shaming. This is a topic that came up on the More Plates More Dates subreddit. Under the discussion flare, there is apparently 37.2 thousand people dry scooping creatine. Not the best idea. 586 popping testosterone. I always find it amusing what this is gonna be when I sign in. So anyways, Sush Bra, a Gorilla Mind athlete, posted a story the other day basically showing a comment that many roid users have been seeing all over their feeds, all over their pictures and their comment sections and shit. Dude's body is gonna be all jacked up with everything he takes. Can't even fuck without taking Cialis, which is like, this is the response. Taking tadalafil does not give you erectile dysfunction. Literally just gives you better blood flow, i.e. stronger boners. At MMA Daily Fan. You should try it, bro. Your girl will thank you. Ecstatically smiling face. Here's a fucking thumbs up. So, again, all these anonymous accounts, I don't know if this guy's anonymous, I'll just assume this is, an MMA fighter. Maybe it's not him, maybe it is him. He's a Daily Fan, so presumably he's, behind a anonymous username / profile picture and is not, gonna put his face behind his account. He's gonna talk all the shit he wants and that's fine. But like, there's such a misconception among like why somebody would use something like Cialis, or why would somebody use anything? Like it is, I'll give you my opinion in a sec, but if you scroll down, the guy answering misinterpreted what MMA Daily Fan said. What he meant was that the PEDs are causing ED and that is why you need Cialis, not that the Cialis itself is causing ED. Yeah, so obviously Sush misinterpreted the fuck out of that, I guess. But I mean, that's besides the fucking point of this ridiculous thing that we see time and time again, and I'll explain in a sec. My opinion on this kind of thought process. I used to take it as a pre-workout at 5 milligrams to get sick pumps, crying and laughing face. Me too, every now and then. Working out rock hard to assert dominance by patient pollution. First time yesterday, amazing. And by the way, be fucking careful if you are combining PDE5 inhibitors with Gorilla Mode Nitric, Gorilla Mind, or Gorilla Mode, I should say, the base formula. Super physiological vasodilation can literally lead to such, like, you might faint, Combining them is, actually somewhat sketchy. So just be careful of that. There's a reason in the warning section of Gorilla Mode Nitric, a section that most people don't even fucking look at, but you really should. It says specifically, do not combine with PDE5 inhibitors. So there's a fucking reason for it. But yeah, PDE5 inhibitors are pretty potent at giving you a pump. Things like sildenafil, Viagra, tadalafil, Cialis. But again, is Sush Bra incapable of getting an erection without taking Cialis? Or are most users incapable of it? I bet a lot of guys who don't know how to manage their shit end up with ED. Guys with mismanaged estrogen, guys who are taking, starting off with 500 mgs of test off the bat perhaps and not titrating up accordingly based on their own individual dose response. Those individuals are more likely to encounter side effects, and maybe you end up with mismanaged estrogen, you end up with some erectile dysfunction, you need to use something like an AI just to get your shit in check so you don't have dick problems, and then you try and band-aid it with a shit ton of Cialis or Viagra or whatever it is, when in reality you just have a mismanaged amount of free androgen relative to free estrogen in the body, and or prolactin issues, and or progestogenic activity, which is exacerbating things. Whatever the case may be, at the end of the day, gear is in general going to enhance erection. It's going to make you more horny. There's a reason why super physiological androgen levels make you a more high libido individual. Why are guys way more horny than girls? Ultimately, it boils down to fucking androgens. If you give a girl a bunch of tests, what happens? She gets horny as fuck. There's a reason for it. So guys on gear, realistically, if your dick is not working, it's either a result of mismanaged hormones, poor selection. It could be a myriad of other things. Maybe you have unaddressed sleep apnea. Maybe you have a horrible fucking diet model in general. Maybe you're super overweight and you're using gear and it's just your blood pressure's through the fucking roof. Like, who knows what the issue is? But at the end of the day, guys who are on gear in general with proper managed hormones are going to have higher libido. I'm not saying that's a good thing necessarily, or you should be on gear or anything like that. But at the end of the day, to fuck with or without Cialis, like, Sush is fully capable, I am quite certain, of fucking with or without Cialis. The reason a lot of guys choose to use Cialis, and why a lot of these telemedicine clinics that, pump out Cialis and Viagra scripts through influencers, like how many big channels at this point, promote things like there are a lot of companies that turnkey spit out finasteride and Viagra and tadalafil prescriptions, like fucking cookie cutter candy mills, and these doctors will get on a call for literally 60 seconds and be like, oh, here's your script. You definitely have ED. Here's your fucking script. Like, that's how it's working nowadays. Are all those guys with ED? Probably not. I'm not saying that's right or wrong. Like, to be honest, I think most people should be able to have access to whatever they want in general. Now, again, like with stuff like this, when it's like pretty benign and even arguably potentially may have a cardio protective effect in some aspects, like obviously the control on it is a lot less warranted, I feel like, than something like, an actual controlled medication. Like, that's obviously a whole different discussion, and we shouldn't be generalizing in that context. But ultimately, guys who just want to have a better experience in the bedroom, want to have super physiological vasodilation in their fucking Johnson, should they be able to do that? And does it mean because you take Cialis that you can't fuck without it? Of course not. Just like saying if you take gear, is it impossible for you to build muscle without gear? No, obviously you fucking can. You just might not be able to do it as well. And you choose to put pharma into the equation to, enhance the state you're in. And, obviously the gear side of things is a lot more dangerous. You can't relate it directly to this, but ultimately anytime people are deciding to use any kind of pharm for fucking anything, is to enhance some sort of state, or, obviously in a protective aspect with some health stuff, it's a bit different. But I mean, in terms of performance, specifically, using a Cialis, using a Viagra, yeah, it can help guys with legitimate ED, but above and beyond that, no one's gonna argue with the fact that if you have a perfectly functioning dick and then you use Cialis, it doesn't make things a bit better in the bedroom, If you use a bit of Viagra on an empty stomach in the morning, are you gonna have a fucking steel rod versus what otherwise may be just a decent rod, Like, there's a big fucking difference between PDE5 inhibition and not, regardless if you have a functioning penis or not, if you're a natural or you're enhanced. So the roid shaming thing, I think, is fucking silly when people are like, oh, like you can't even fucking function without this drug. It's like, actually, I'm pretty sure this guy was probably functioning just fine a year ago when he was natural, or a year and a half ago, whatever it was, without the fucking Cialis. It's just now he chooses to use it because he enjoys the experience, or it gives him some sort of, maybe he's using it for fucking a pump pre-workout. Maybe he's doing it for the cardioprotective benefits for increased vasodilation. Who knows what the fuck he's doing, Now, ultimately, I have a bit more insight into what these guys are doing because I'm actually friends with them. But I mean, in general, guys who are doing this stuff who are enhanced, guys on Cialis, guys on Viagra, blah, 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 it doesn't mean that without the drug, their dick would not work. So I don't know why people do this shit. Like, they're just trying to, cause a fucking ruckus and be a shit disturber because they just, dislike guys on gear. They just have a fucking problem with it, whether it's, a moral issue, whether it's a, whatever issue. They just don't like the guy in general. Like, he obviously doesn't like Sush for whatever reason. And he's just, speculating about some fucking nonsense and decides to put it out there into the ether and expects people to be on board with the fucking, stance he's taking. And it's just totally misguided. Like, if you're going to argue steroids are unhealthy, by all means, dude, no one's going to fucking argue against it. And I don't think Sush would either. But to say something as dumb as, can't even fuck without taking Cialis, like, this is classic roid shaming. And it's just silly. And I see it all the time. Like, it happens on my channel sometimes too. And other people's channels who, use PEDs, especially guys who use it more aggressively. Like, it's less common on mine. Like, when you're just using, well, I guess with the TRT thing, people will still say the same shit. But ultimately, tadalafil is not something that I wouldn't be deploying on a regular basis. It's a fucking useful drug for sure. And I think most guys who are using it probably don't necessarily have a scenario where things would not function at all without it. That's just absolutely silly speculation based on a totally misguided opinion from a guy who has no fucking idea how drugs work. So just wanted to bring that to the limelight because I see it time and time again. It's just fucking annoying. So a little bit of a rant/ramble today. We should not be roid shaming individuals who are, choosing to do something on their own accord and are fully aware of the risks. And I guess ultimately you can do whatever the fuck you want. Like, it's free speech, people can shame anyone they want, I guess. Like, the SARMs girl got a ton of flack, but I guess it's a bit different when you're using something highly speculative that's, a research chemical and whatnot. And you're 18, it's a bit more risky. So expectedly you're gonna get a bit more flack for it. But, in general, I think people are becoming more open to it, but you're still gonna get dumb guys like this who come out of the woodwork and post dumb shit. So anyways, hopefully it becomes more openly accepted of people just talking about what they're doing, people not shitting on each other for it, and more education coming in the limelight about how to stay as safe as possible if individuals are going to be doing it and, learning accordingly so you don't fuck yourself up, because ultimately people are gonna do this stuff, and having high quality education available to the masses is ultimately going to prevent these individuals from fucking themselves up. and this is kind of a huge tangent to even discuss off of tadalafil, because that's a widely used medication. Most guys aren't even on gear at the end of the day. So very, very benign compound. And I think this is a misguided, stupid comment. So anyways, hope you guys enjoyed that one. Thank you guys for watching. Like, subscribe, check out my blog, moreplacement8s.com. Follow me on Instagram at moreplacement8s, Facebook, Snapchat, Twitter, not TikTok, because I actually am fucking banned right now. We shall see what happens with that. But TikTok is a bit of a disaster right now. So we shall see what happens with that. But anyways, anywhere else, iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever else I am. If you want to support the channel, you can check out anything I'm associated with in the video description below. My TRT clinic, it's all telemedicine from the comfort of your own home. Get high quality oversight from doctors who understand how to interpret hormones and how to keep your shit balanced. So you don't necessarily need something like tadalafil or sildenafil, but hypothetically, if you benefited from it in some context, you would be put on a probably the most benign fucking well-tolerated dose ever. But again, having a good educated doctor in your camp, if you're gonna be pursuing HRT or anything of that nature, even if you're natural, keeping shit in check so your dick is functioning at top tier, regardless if you're on PDE5 inhibitors or not, that is what you can expect from the doctors at my clinic. You're going to get high quality medical oversight and education about your situation so you actually understand how to optimize, and doesn't even necessarily involve pharma. So check it out if you want high quality service. We don't even care if you get on meds. Ultimately, at the end of the day, we make our money on the markups on the consultation services and the labs and whatnot. So check that out if it is of interest to you. And anything else I'm associated with, Gorilla Mind, nootropic formulas, Gorilla Mode pre-workout formulas, design myself from scratch, including Gorilla Mode Nitric, I mentioned earlier, the most potent vasodilating stimulant-free pre-workout on the market. Also is pretty potent on the fucking dank, bro. The vasodilation is actually pretty pronounced, even in a you-know-what context. So if that is, of any interest to you for a, over-the-counter thing, not bad, bro, not bad. Anything else I'm associated with? Shirts, I'm wearing in my videos, shit that supports me. Clothing brand I'm associated with, it is down in the description with the coupon code, save you some money, supports the channel. Anything else I'm associated with, it is all down there. Thank you guys for watching. Talk to you soon.